Now, I've had a look at this repair estimate, and I apologize for this taking so long to get back to you, but I wanted to verify with a construction contractor specialist and another investor to see if these numbers made sense. And this is what we came up with. We looked at these numbers very detailed because this is kind of what's going to make or break your deal. Overall, I can tell you right now, this repair estimate is actually pretty accurate. It's pretty good from what I know, how much things cost in those areas. There's a couple of things that are off, though. So these are the things that I want you to look at. Specifically, and let me just look and see really quick. And then we have also a couple of recommendations as well. When you look at, let's see, where was, oh yeah, so one of the things is replace stairs. I'm not really sure how many stairs there are. Is it just like 3 steps, or is it the whole entire staircase? In the ladder, the $1,000 is definitely under what it should cost. Let's see, let's just go through one by one. Windows, yeah, that's about right. For the cleanup, landscaping, yard, only $500. Yeah, that could be right. It depends on how big the actual grassy area is. I didn't see anything on the pictures, so that would be something to check when you go to the property and look at it. Sand and refinish deck only, $200. That seems a little low. It's kind of, it's on the lower side. Interior painting only. That, you know, that's the kind of work that a lot of flippers sometimes do themselves because it's not extremely difficult to paint if you have a talent for it, and this is quite expensive. Hardwood flooring. One thing I wanted to say about if you're flipping a house, you're trying to impress a future buyer, obviously, because you want to sell it fast, but you also want to wager how much money you're going to spend on fancy stuff like hardwood floors, or whether it might be a little bit cheaper to put in laminate or some other flooring that's a little bit cheaper that might be a little bit more hardy. And so this might be a little bit overpriced, and also this price is actually kind of high as well. I mean, this is some really fancy hardwood flooring. If you're paying $7 a square foot, I think it would easily be available for about $3, and plus the padding underneath it would run to about $5, but $7 is kind of high. And the other thing is, because this is a very old house, you may want to check and see if it already has hardwood flooring in there, because most houses that were built in that time have hardwood underneath the carpet or whatever other subfloor that was put in on top since then. So it might be easier and much cheaper if you would discover the old original hardwood flooring and you would sand it and then refinish it, and that would be a lot cheaper than this amount right here. Carpet, not sure where you want to put carpet, but that's about right for the price of carpet. It's a little bit low, but it's okay. Ceramic floor tile in the bathrooms. Yeah, that's seems a little overpriced, but I mean, with the labor, that's about right. Shower stuff, shower meeting kitchen, that's about right. Home appliances, that's about right. By the way, you can get a kitchen much cheaper if you buy the cabinets and the countertops already pre-manufactured. You can go to any home improvement store, and they have cabinets that you can buy that fit most kitchens. So it depends on how fancy you want to get. You obviously want to wager and see what are people buying, and then you have to do that. And this is your first project, so you wouldn't really know. And I'm going to tell you something about this first project later on, but kind of go with me, and I'm going to mention the kitchen thing a little bit later on. New construction framing. I'm not really sure what that means. Is there an additional room that's being added, or something is being replaced that's falling apart? I would inquire about this cost. And interior framing changes. This looks like you are changing the layout of the inside of the house. which is okay if you're tending to a specific buyer, or if the interior is just so outdated that it needs to be more opened up. And that's what it seems like, because it says non-load bearing. So basically, you're changing the interior walls that are non-load bearing to make a different room and make a room bigger. That seems to be quite expensive, quite honestly, and I'm not sure it's necessary. It just depends how the house looks inside. You would have to go inside and check. The door, the exterior front door, that's kind of, that's just for the door with the hardware and dead. That seems kind of cheap. The door itself will run a little bit more than that. Baseboard trim, yeah, that's kind of okay. Stairs, we already talked about that. Now the heating system and the AC system, I'm not really sure. Is there a need for an AC system in the Chicago area? And this is something you would know. Down here in the south where we live, we cannot live without AC. We turn our AC on in the middle of the winter sometimes. And so I definitely look into this, as well as it's gas fired. So I don't know if there's an option to shop around for this HVAC system, but the price looks about right. Plumbing seems about right. That seems a little high, but yeah, plumbing, that's you basically building a new house. And the electrical work seems about right as well. Demolition works for the dumpster, that's right. Dumpster rental. Construction permits, that's something I can't check. That's something you would have to check if that's correct. So staging for kitchen. Yeah, that's staging. I just had to stage a house for renting as a vacation rental. We ended up just leaving all the furniture in there and just rented the whole house with the furniture, the TVs, and the whole entire setup, the blankets, and it had it really nice. And it didn't cost $2,000. It actually cost nowhere near $2,000. And I don't know if that $2,000 actually includes the furniture, or is it just rented furniture? So you want to check about this $2,000 thing, because I spent about $300 for staging, and maybe about $500 or $600 for the furniture, plus some of the furniture that I had. And it looks like you're not even staging every room; you're just staging the living room and the one bedroom. So yeah, I mean, overall, the total repair costs are reasonable for all of this. It just seems a lot of work. And my question to you would be, where is this money coming from? Is this money that you're getting a loan? Is this money that you and your partner already have, that you're going to dump into this project for the 8 to 10 months or a year, however long that takes? That's my question. And then we'll get to why that matters in a bit. So let's see what other files I have not looked at yet for you, because there was 4. I think deal analysis is the last one. We did look at this, this, and this. Let's see if we can look at this deal analysis. Let's see, it kind of like went into my Finder. And let's see if I can just search for it, because there it is. Okay, so here's the deal analysis. So we're looking at a vacant property, 2,100 square feet. After repair value, this number, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. This number right here, I would be really concerned about, primarily because I don't trust those comps that you send me. Those comps need to be verified with a realtor, with several realtors, and it would be useful to talk to several realtors and don't tell them what the other one said, and kind of try to make yourself a picture, because everybody will tell you something a little bit different. But if there's a trend in your area, you're going to be able to see it, and you're going to know whether this is a good price. Now, at that particular price, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the actual, Hopefully I can pull up the actual comps, which is important to see right next to each other. I'm going to look at the comps, and if you see this price right here, $571K, at that price, the last property that's pending or has sold at that price or close to that price sat on the market for 285 days. That's almost a year. That's close to a year, and that's maybe like 9 months. That's a long, long time. In addition, that property is a little bit bigger, and it looks like the price per square footage was quite high. It was more in the higher area. So I would really be questioning this price. So I'm not even sure where the value is at $295, purchase price $279. I guess you're making them a lower offer, and you're estimating to hold it for 6 months. I just don't think 6 months is a good number for this project. This project has to be a lot longer, and because you got to count the time that it takes to rehab it plus the time it's on the market once it's rehabbed. Of course, you can put a property on the market while you're still rehabbing it, but you're not going to be able to get good offers while you're still working on it. In addition, once a house has been on the market for more than 2 weeks, it's becoming a stale product. Any realtor will tell you this. It'll become a stale product because people have already looked at it. They're not going to look at it again. And the longer it sits on the market, the harder it is to sell. So you have to be really careful with this hold time of 6 months. I think this number is way underestimated. Holding costs, annual property taxes. This just doesn't seem right, because didn't I see someplace else there that we had $30,000 property taxes per year, which just translated into a monthly amount of $2,300. So this is way off from what I have seen. Insurance costs, if that's what the insurance company tells you, then that's the number. Gas, water, electricity, I can tell you for sure electricity is probably going to be more than that. And gas is probably going to be more than that. It just depends which systems run off of gas and which ones on electricity. I can tell you here in the South, I had a house where the heater was running off of gas, but the air conditioning was electricity. So in the summertime, our electricity bill was really high. In the wintertime, our gas bill was really high. So it just depends. You have to kind of time it. So in this case, you know, if that's a concern, you want to try to schedule most of your rehabbing in the spring and fall when it's neither cold and neither hot, or whatever the right time frame is for that area. So I think this number is too low, and I think this number is way too low. And this number, as a result, is off, and this is definitely way off. So this all has to be redone. Let's see, financing costs is the next. First mortgage, $399,840. I'm thinking what you're saying is that you're buying it for $279, and you're adding the $120,000 to this, which is repair cost. So that's for starters. That's good. This is your financing cost, your points, and first mortgage interest rate and cost is 12%. That's really, really high. I'm not sure where you're getting this percentage rate. But right now the mortgage rates go for 4 to 5%, maybe 5, or maybe even quite a bit higher, maybe 5 or 6. But 12% is hard money lenders. This is not even a bank. That's a high amount. And thus, I think this is maybe a little bit overstated, but you have to tell me a little bit where this 12% comes from, because if this is a regular bank, it's a little bit high. There's no second mortgage, there's none of this stuff. And you're saying the total financing is $427,000 for this project, and you're looking to sell at $571. And I think at the bottom somewhere there is a delta of these two numbers, which is what I'm presuming you think your profit is going to be. Once this is adjusted, of course, this number is going to go up, which makes the delta between this number and this number smaller, which makes your profit smaller. But let's keep looking at this deal analysis. Buying transaction costs. Attorney fees, $1,000, that's about right. Title insurance, $500, but you're going to have to prepay taxes. So usually what they will do, the mortgage companies will establish an escrow account for your property. That's where you put in prepaid taxes for up to a year sometimes, and also insurance. And also if you have any kind of other insurance requirements for that area, it's not just homeowners insurance, but check to see if you're in a flood zone. I don't know how close it is to any kind of big water body. And also, what's the other thing? There is other considerations. You have to check and see how long do you have to prepay for. In addition, if you finance this huge amount right here of $399,000, it looks like that's not putting any money down on this mortgage, which means if you finance a house that is where you're not putting down more at or more than 20%, you're going to have to pay PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which runs about 1%, I believe, off your purchase price. So you're going to have to calculate that in, and that also goes into your escrow. So there's a little bit more associated with these costs than there is. Realtor fees, 6%. I would ask to negotiate that down, especially on a rehab property. And this is about right. Home warranty. I don't know what this home warranty is because I don't know what you're putting a warranty on because you're replacing everything. So that would be my question. Staging cost says $1,500 here. Somewhere else I saw $2,000. And marketing cost, not sure what that is. These are all numbers that probably would have to be explained. I'm not really sure how you got to these. These latter ones, especially from home warranty down. I'm not sure what these all are, what this means. So this number, of course, also needs to be adjusted, as I discussed. Okay, so here we're going to, and I think this is the last page, yes. Here is the Deal Analyzer report. Estimated net profit and return on investment snapshot. Estimated net profit, $89,318.04. This is the delta between what I presume is this number and which number? I'm trying to think. 89,318 would be thinking it would be this number and this number added together, it seems like. Let's make this quick calculation. 427 plus 43. 427 plus, what was it? 43. 43. And we're looking at selling it for $571. 571 minus 470. Just verifying in numbers here. Okay, so that's about what we're looking at. I'm off somewhere by about 11,000, but let's just think of it that way. So you basically took your financing costs plus your seller transaction costs, and it looks like all of these costs up here. So added the holding costs, buying transaction costs, selling transaction costs, plus your financing, and then you expect to get this amount. Now, as I said, once you adjust all these numbers, this right here is this total number is gonna go up that you're subtracting from this, which makes this number go down. So you're saying the return on investment is 18.54%. And that is off the total sales price that you're getting at the end of this project. So the after repair value, the sales price $571K, the purchase price $279, repair $120, financing $27, holding cost $3, buying transaction $7. So okay, so you basically are looking. Okay, so purchase plus estimate repair cost, down payment required at closing, my capital committed, my analyzed cash on cash return, and as cash on cash return, purchase right 22.34%. These numbers are nice calculations, and I'm going to be really cautious here. I can go sit and recalculate all these numbers, and on paper they make total sense to me as well as the percentages, but you have to be really, really careful and make sure you put a really realistic eye on this project. First off, and see, here's some of the things that I see.